So this was a song by, let me stop it. This was a song by Thundercat and Let Them Changes, probably is the title. I'm not sure, but I wanna start this video and with this song because I saw them. I saw Thundercat and saw the Strokes and Red Hot Chili Peppers, sorry, in my solo trip in New York, which I would like to talk about it in this kind of first video. I don't know if I'm able to do that, but I'm gonna try. And it's been an insane, let me tell you, to be honest, it's been an insane solo trip this year. I never expected that it would be so insane, so funny, and I really did what I expected to do. I really visited was what I was planned to visit, but also what I didn't plan to visit, because when you are in New York, you can I figure out that you can't plan the fucking anything, because in every places you turn your head around, in every kind of city, every time you look in the streets, look in around you, there are a lot of things that amaze you, a lot of things that impress you. And so during my solo trip, at a certain point I throw away the plans, also the kind of schemes I did to have a sort of order to follow, but I didn't really care about it, and I threw all my schemes away, and then I started to don't plan anything for the next days, and for the rest of the holiday it's been so I couldn't name this kind of trip like a holiday, because I went really I visited all the city that I wanted to visit. I visit all the parks I wanted to visit, I wanted to see, and it was really amazing. But I'll tell you why, I'll tell you anything, I'll tell you what happened, I'll tell you how I decided firstly to organize myself, my certain of vacation. But I don't know where to start, because seriously a lot of things happened in my trip. For example, just to name one, I went to the Jimmy Fallon show, and I'm still not believing in this. I still not believing it could be possible, and it has been possible. But I did it. We did it. We during that day we there were other 13 people that could get in the show, and it's been insane. It's been so insane. So thank you to the production, thank you to the staff, thank you to Jimmy for a wonderful show. I really also talked to Jimmy Fallon, but I tell you probably in another episode of this kind of tell about New York, telling about my solo trip. I'm sorry for my bad English, but I'm Italian, so I don't speak so well, but I'm trying to improve myself, and it was really kind that a lot of people, American people, English people, and when they were talking to me, they also trying to they made me a lot of compliments for my fluency, for my pronouns, and but I'm not sure that it was really really cool, and but I was happy, and that what made me really happy, made me gave me a lot of motivation to go on to try to speak English and not Italian when I was there. And also when I met a lot of Italian tourists, I used to speak English also with them, and they didn't figure out that I was Italian. They didn't know, they didn't understand that I was Italian. I don't know why, but oh my god. So this trip was really, really, really nice. I started to plan this trip, kind of plan, because oh my god, I'm gonna eat my mic. And I started to plan. I didn't even know that I wanted to go to New York, because I never been attracted to the city, the country, the places, and I never consider kind of city to visit during a holiday, during a trip, I never considered. But and in fact, during probably July, I wanted to go to and started looking at the different prices of flights, and because I wanted to go to Indonesia, but the price of the ticket of the flight was really expensive, so I started to consider other countries, other places in which I could have been and could probably I would like to visit. And I saw that the ticket for New York was really cheap, in comparison to for example Indonesia. So I booked the flight, but I didn't know that life in New York is so expensive, and you have to be really careful, to be really you have to pay attention to every taxes they put on their bill when you check after you have a lunch, you have dinner, but also if you go to for example, go to a restaurant and you you decided that you want to eat a pizza, for example, a pepperoni pizza, and I tried. And it's really, really, really cool, really amazing pepperoni pizza, which is not with pepperoni on side, but there are little slices of what we call like pork meat. And so I, for example, tried to eat it and I ordered at the restaurant. But I figured out that it's better when you eat pizza, for example, to take some slices and you go away. Take, for example, if you want to eat for lunch, take a slice of pizza and also a margarita pizza or a little bottle of water. But pay attention, because little bottle of water, they cost like, maybe I paid for $4 or $5, I can't remember well, but it's really expensive. Also the water, the still water, I drank a lot of still water, but I try to save a lot of water because it was really expensive. But this is just the bad side of this solo trip. If you are able to save a lot of money, and I tell you how to do that, how to do this, and you can also manage a trip in New York. It's affordable if you are able to organize yourself, to try to save money, try to not to go at the restaurant every dinner, every night. You have to, for example, what I suggest you is to take a lot of fresh vegetables or fruits in the supermarket. They have a lot of supermarket or mini market they call daily groceries. They have everything you want, from the food to the clothes to the medical, for example, device, to the technologic device, to the every kind of things you need to. You can find in daily groceries or so in Target, which is, you can imagine, is a sort of big supermarket which has a lot of stuffs, from food, clothes, for the hygiene, healthcare, for the anything you want, you can find it. And it's another aspect, negative aspect, is the fact that you can see what they prefer to buy, to eat, also in a supermarket. So if you pay attention when you enter, oh my God, this is so sad, because the restaurants are very, very expensive. So people, like normal people, couldn't afford to eat at restaurants. They couldn't, because it's really expensive and they don't have a lot of money. But there are a lot of rich American, but it's also poor American, and the majority of the population is really poor. And because you see, the rich people live in certain kind of areas, certain places in New York, and which has a lot of boroughs, when they call borough. So, for example, New York is not just the New York City. New York is formed by also a beautiful island, which is not considered in the. I didn't find anything explained about Staten Island, and I went to, and it was really cool. I visited by myself, and there were literally, I feel just like probably Christopher Colombo when he went to the America, and to the Americas, when he discovered America, because I didn't see any. There was no one tourist around the whole Staten Island. I feel like I was but also no one from New York. It seems that they live there. They don't have a lot of population. They have their whole houses. They are so cute, so cool, and like little French house, bohemian house, very clean, very little, different one from each other, and they have a lot of greens, a lot of trees, plants, and green areas, which is not happening and is not for New York. In New York, you have a lot of skyscrapers, a lot of iron buildings, but you couldn't find, for example, gardens around the houses. no, they haven't. If you want some relax, and if you want to go to a park, if you want to see some really green, for example, like a park, they have a lot of parks, and they are, for example, at the north of Manhattan, there is this big, they call it green lung, and it's a big one. It's a big park, if it's really famous, you probably know, which is called Central Park. It's amazing. I regret to visit just for like probably 2 days. I spent 14 days in New York, but the majority of the time I was walking around. I walked like almost 200 miles, which is a lot for me. And so going back to what I was telling you about the supermarket and the food they used to eat, also I was talking about the borough of New York. There's Staten Island, Queens, there is also Brooklyn, and there is the Bronx and New Jersey. So all these are the neighbors of the boroughs, and I call them neighbors of New York because they're around New York. And I went, apart from Bronx, I went in all of them. I visited all of them, and I tell you what happened. But going back to the food that people used to eat, I was impressed because in the supermarket we have, for example, here in Italy, we have a lot of groceries, vegetables and fruits when you enter to the supermarket. And which is not the same thing this doesn't happen in their countries, because they prefer to eat a lot of junk foods like chips, fried chips, for example. They have a lot of selection. They have a big selection of like junk food, for example, big cake, pancake, chips, biscuits. Like I saw a lot of different kind of butter cookies, chocolate cookies, cheap chocolate cookies. I don't know. I saw a lot of really serious junk food. Also, they have a lot of fast foods, and it's so natural, so easy for them to go to a fast food. It's better to go to a fast food for them instead of going to a restaurant, because it's cheaper, because people can afford them. And so they go very, very, very often to the supermarket. And what they have to the supermarket, for example, for me, I bought just one time because I wanted to try a lot of things, a lot of foods, American food, typical American foods, but it was so junk food, so I have to pay attention for my healthy, because I walked a lot in New York. You can walk like, for example, from the south of Manhattan to the north, there be almost, you can walk for 20 miles. So you can imagine how I walk, because every day, so the first day I came to New York, I bought my metro car, which is a car which allows you to use all the kind of, for example, trains, air trains, bus, if you want not to take a taxi because it's so expensive. Also, the Uber system is very, very expensive, and it doesn't worth it. So I prefer to move by walking or taking metros. At the beginning, it's really, really complicated. It's really complex. As they have this kind of train, which is the subway, and you have to pay attention to the direction, to the entry, to the exits of the metro, the destination you're going to. And also they have two kind of lines, the local ones, which has all the steps in which are signed, and the other one lines is called express line, and you have to pay attention because the express one maybe doesn't do all the stops there are signs, so you have to pay attention to the right place you have to go. But I just one time I took the wrong train. For the majority of the time, I really became familiar with the system of the subways and the trains. So I was really happy because I could take the metro to go to the train to go everywhere. And my solo trip was divided in three areas of New York. And I'll tell you where, and I'll tell you why, and then maybe we can talk in another episode. So I booked an Airbnb, a wonderful Airbnb, which was at a kind of I don't know what to call it, but it's a room in the upper floor of a house, so two artists, probably 60s years old artists, a couple, and she was they were Jewish. They were both Jewish. They were so kind, so friendly. The house was really clean. I felt so safe staying in their house, because I had my privacy, all of my privacy. They gave me the key the first day, and I could go out, and coming back at every hour, at any time, any part of the day, any moment during the day, in the night, in the evening. I felt so free to leave the city as I planned, and also I felt so safe because the area around, I was staying in Brooklyn. I really love Brooklyn. I think that if there is a city, I could name a city which I could call home, it's probably Brooklyn, and I like to live in Brooklyn. Oh my God, also because my favorite crush, Pete Davidson, is living here, not because I'm in Italy, but is living in, oh my God, Brooklyn. And I was so sad. I didn't find him anywhere, but I'm gonna plan to come back and stay just 2 weeks only in Brooklyn. I don't want to see any other cities or places. Maybe I probably will come back to Greenwich Village, East Village, the Gramercy Park, and also the Central Park. I like to visit them again. Although I visited all the Central Park, I walked across the Central Park from the north to the south in one day. It was really I was really exhausted, but it was really worth it. But I fell in love with Brooklyn. Brooklyn is my kind of city. I'm a kind of Brooklyn girl, and there are no skyscraper. The air is fresh. There are a lot of green areas. The houses are also so near, and there are people out of their stairs. Maybe they're talking to the neighbors. It's much friendly. It's more friendly, and it's more little, so all the people know them. When you are in Manhattan, you feel that all the people are escaping from something. They are running. They are doing a marathon, literally. So you don't have the chance to appreciate people, because they are distant from you, they are escaping from you. In Brooklyn is different, because are more also friendly, more kind with you, but I can't say nothing against Americans because especially people from New York are very, very kind. They are ready to help you in every situation, in every when you feel lost, when you need some help, you can ask to them and they will help you 100%. This is a fact. But when I was in Brooklyn, I felt most safe also going around. There were less people in the streets. Manhattan is too crowded. Manhattan is something that you can visit just one day and then you have to go away. I had a bad experience with my second, which would have been the second booked I took on Airbnb, and was a room in a house I didn't know the place around that house, that flat, not the flat, but around that it was kind of, sort of block of flats, and so it was really scared. I was really scared to just walk around, and I love walking a lot, so I needed a safe place to go and come back, to visit, to made me feel safe when I was into. But just the room that I bought didn't give me the sensation, the feeling that I could spend the rest of the days, 6 days. I would have spent in that house, in that room. But listen, I had a lot of problems staying there, because also in New York, the ganja, I don't know what to call it, but maybe joint, smoke is legal. So cannabis is legal because it without THC. Okay, they only have CBD, so it's legal, and people smoke everywhere. When you walk in the streets, you can smell that people are smoking. Okay, and it happened in different parts of the day, especially during the afternoon, especially during the night. And oh my god, in that room, which I would say, I didn't know also, not only that the place around the house was not so safe, there were no tourists, there were no people I could be friendly. I don't know how to explain, but I felt like I was in a scary place and dangerous place, so I had to escape. I spent just one night and then I escaped in the morning, very early in the morning, and I also forgot my phone charger, but I was so afraid. I was so scared that I had to go away as soon as possible. So in the morning at 6 o'clock, I packed my luggages, which I unpacked the day before, and I went away, because in the night I found a hotel near Times Square, which is, oh my god, a very, very crowded place. I never find in my life, during my holidays, during my trip, found a place so crowded. Maybe because of the fact that it's one of the most famous squares in the world, which is the main place that represent New York and America and the progress. And I don't know, in Times Square there are a lot of big like LEDs on which are set different kind of spots, and there is the avant-garde, because anything that you feel exactly the fact that this importance of what has been decided, or what has been shared, what has been went out in America, like for example a new song, a new album, new pair of headphones, a new collections, a new program, a new TV shows, everything that is new happened, and it's you can find like a premiere view for the first time. You can find first appearance of them as being as set on this big, or I call them virtual, like virtual monitors, like virtual, I don't know, televisions, LEDs, which are the first in the world to announce them. And so it's really famous. You feel exactly what America means about the progressions, about the avant-garde, because there is a lot of new announcements every day, and so people are crazy. You can find people lost taking photos, videos around that square, which is full of these LEDs, and it makes you feel like you live in a cartoon. I don't know what to say. It seems that you are also in that kind of LEDs. You are inside. You are eaten by that LEDs, by those LEDs. And so that place is really crowded, also especially in the night. And before I went away from my, I didn't tell you that the first 6 days I spent in Brooklyn, in a safe place, in the house of these two artists, which I was really grateful and thankful to them. And also they felt a lot of gratitude having me, and I had a great review for them on the Airbnb, and they also gave me ones in return, positive as the one I gave to them. But then I had to stay one night in New Jersey because I have both month ago, although I saw them in Florence, I both ticket to go to the Red Hot Chili Peppers concert, so in Florence. And when I discovered that they would also perform in New York, I decided to both a ticket because they will perform it in a big stadium in New Jersey. I was so excited to be in a stadium, like for example a Madison Square Garden, something like that. I've never been to a stadium apart from San Siro, where I saw Beyonce with my sister in 2000 probably, and 18, last concert before. Also we saw Billie Eilish before pandemic came. But what I was saying was the fact that I had to stay one night in a hotel, Hilton Hotel, amazing. I couldn't say nothing, and I can't say nothing. Beautiful room they have too, apart from the moquette, which is not so hygienic situation. But I felt so safe. I slept a lot during the night, and so I had to took my luggages with me all the day to waiting the check-in for the room in Harlem, because I booked in Harlem this room, which I found so scary. So I had to go away. Also in the room there was the air conditioning didn't work. Better. It was working, but it was really loud because it was one kind of old stuff, and it was really loud. The air was so, there was this kind of bad smell of smoke. I didn't know what was, but also probably the couple had cooked something before I went, and I had to do the check-in at 5 in the morning, 5 p.m. and there was this kind of disgusting smell around my room, which was separated from their kitchen just by a curtain, two-leg curtain, and there was also my bathroom, which it was really linked to the kitchens, to the house. So I felt very, very in danger. And so I couldn't breathe because the air was so cold, it was so hot, sorry, and I wanted to open the window to change some and to let some fresh air come, but it was impossible because the windows were broken. So I had to escape from that. I don't know how, I guess I stayed for a whole night in that bed. I don't know. Also the television was shown me that was linked to and was set with Apple TV. No, it was fake, because the television didn't work also, and I didn't know. I was so scared, and it was so awful. It was so gross. Also the room. I had to escape. A lot of pillows, a lot of dust. I couldn't breathe anymore, so I had to go away. And in the night, I slept for like 4 hours. And then also when I went away from to do a kind of walking, I had to go to the apartment in a while because I was so scared. I was so scared of all the people I saw in the streets, like people with disease, with terrible disease, like people were ill in the street, like people who were staring at me, and I know, I had to go. So I came back and I stayed in my room. I tried to watch a movie, and I selected one movie from the Apple TV selection movies, which was one of the last movies of one of my favorite actors, who is Dakota Fanning. Let me tell you that it was so awful and I was so bored because my television didn't work. The movie continued to stop, so I lost my patience, and I decided to do a very cool thing, because in a supermarket near the apartment, I bought like there was this kind of $3 supermarket in which was sold anything like at $1.25. So $1.25. So very, very cheap, but they were sold the worst thing, and I found a lot of, for example, little games for babies, like dolls, like but there was very kind of different stuff. I decided that I wanted to buy some pens to write, to ink my a white t-shirt, because I had a lot of time. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to spend my time in subsequent. I don't know what to say, but I had to spend the whole night there in the so terrifying room, and I decided to prepare and to write on my white t-shirt, which also I still have, and not the one that I use when I went to Staten Island, but there was this t-shirt that I tried to print on with my pens that I bought. It was really difficult, but it makes me it gets me a little bit busy, so I spend a lot of hours printing that I love Pete Davidson on the t-shirt, because in my mind I was planning that I would go to Staten Island and I would have been to, and I decided that I wanna go to the places in which the film The King of Staten Island was set, like for example the Venus Pizza or the Ice Cream Ralph, or for example other places. But then I texted my mom and I was deciding with her that I had to go away. She supported me, she motivated me to leave the apartment in the morning, and I went away. Okay, so this will be, I hope that it will be a bad memory in the next years. But now I'm still a little bit impressed by that experience. So fortunately, I found this kind of hotel. This was a really hotel. I had to escape in the morning. I arrived at the hotel, which was the Hotel Mila. Oh my God, there is a little boar under my roof, and I can see from my window. It's so cute. And so I went to the hotel, in which I booked my room. Sorry. I was not sure that my room was available yet, but I tried to ask to the receptionist of the hotel, and my room was available just in the morning. So in the morning, with my luggages, I have to carry them with me from Harlem to Chinatown, because I decided, oh my God, no, that was another day, sorry. I did a lot of things. I saw so many things that I couldn't remember in order. Okay, so in a clearly way. So I guess that so I was so happy I was going away from that terrible place that I decided to go strictly to the hotel, and the room fortunately was available. So I went to the hotel. I changed my plan. I had to change my plan, because my plan was to go to Staten Island that morning, but I was so tired. I didn't sleep a lot, so the night before. So I decided to stay in the hotel, but I didn't see at the time. I didn't see Times Square, the center of Manhattan. So I was so happy to go outside the hotel, to feel safe, walk around, and go where the fuck I want. So where the fuck I wanted. So from that moment, the trip went very good and was so cool. And I tell you in the next episode what happened. So this was my like big step in New York. So I went in Brooklyn for the first 6 nights, then one night in New Jersey for a concert of Red Hot Chili Peppers, Strokes, and Thundercat, and then I spent 6 nights in the center of Manhattan. Like, it was so crazy, so seeing all the people in the night was so difficult to come back to the hotel because I had to walk across a lot of people, thousands of people, crazy people, funny people. And there was also a sad side, a bad and sad situation which I came in, and there was the fact that you can see how people are very in difficult. They are struggle living with that private assistance, medical assistant, because insurance, because they don't have insurance, and this is a very big problem for them. Because if you don't have a medical insurance, if you cannot afford to pay for a medical insurance, and you cannot, in America, it's the sanity is private. But if you can't afford to pay for your sanity, for your healthcare, for anything, for doctors, for a hospital, you have to simply go in the streets and show to the world that you have disease. And it's so sad to see them, because you can see exactly what they are fighting for, what they are struggling. And it's so sad because you see people with a lot of problems, with a lot of disease, very important disease, and you can do nothing. I also saw a lot of people, a lot of clochard, bringing some garbage from the garbage basket. Like, for example, some food that some people throw away or just throw away, and they bring from the garbage, looking for in the garbage, they bring that kind of food was just thrown away from the people, and, like, for example, locals or tourists, and they immediately bite that food, ate that food. It was so disgusting to see, but this is New York also. This is the fact, the real facts, and this is the reality, the real life, I know. And so, if you want to know something else from my solo trip, you can find me in another video. Bye!